Chief Brent Wilmot is back in studio. Chief, how are you?
I am bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning to you as well.
What's happening?
Not a whole heck of a lot. What's happening with you?
Brewfest tomorrow. We were just talking beforehand. You're working it. You're going to your first Newport Brewfest.
Yeah, I feel like this is the year. I got to get all these events under the belt. We got the Brewfest this weekend, and got a bunch of other events coming up in the days and weeks to come. So I'm excited to see what the chamber has to put on. So
usually I hire a detail, which is what you're doing. It's a police officer. I didn't know I'm getting like the Cadillac.
I don't know if I'd go with the Cadillac. I'm more of like the Pinto, but
the Tesla of the police force.
I put it out to everybody else, but we have some of our guys. One of our guys is getting married this weekend, and a couple of the other guys are attending the event, and then we have people obviously working on opposite shifts. So there wasn't a whole lot of extra people looking for extra work. So I thought to myself, what better to do on a Saturday in June than hang out with Steve?
I appreciate that.
So
I appreciate that.
We'll be bonded.
So 1 year for a doorman, I had hired Russ Lamson.
Okay.
I don't have him this year. I have. Do you know Shrek? His name. He goes by Shrek.
Okay.
Levi is his name. So he's my doorman. He's been doing it for years, but 1 year he wasn't available. But anyway, I had Russ there. Russ was great. And then there was like a domestic happening across the street. So he ran across the street and did his whole police thing.
Intervened.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Well, Newport showed up because it was like right there, and he stopped, dropped, and ran and stopped it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's like, I just did that. Plain clothes.
So the doorman, he just checks identifications and does he actually have to take the ticket and stuff like that?
No, we have ticket takers.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he is literally just there for
IDs.
Good.
Yeah, because I panic over that stuff.
Yeah, as you should.
Because I have to take that stupid class every year on...
Stupid class?
Yeah, because it's annoying, because it's hard. Because the ID...
Hard things are not annoying.
No, it's true. The ID, I get nervous because the fake ones are so complicated. When they show you the fake ID. Like, right. I don't want to accidentally take a fake ID.
Right, and then have your event, shut down.
Done.
And, right, you get thrown into jail. And
right, who wants that?
Right.
I wouldn't make it in jail.
Yeah, you would.
No, are you kidding?
All that gray, you'd be like the old owl in there. Dropping all kinds of wisdom.
So that's why I bring the doorman.
So that's good. So how many vendors do you have coming?
12.
Good.
Yeah, we have 12 breweries.
And how different is this year from normal years for you? In terms of the setup and the organization with COVID?
Totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah, and I agree with what I'm going to say. The planning that we had to do were under the COVID guidelines at the time. So we had to kind of throw the thing on the wall, take a look at it, and move stuff around. So normally in a normal year, you've got the big beer tent and everybody's huddled underneath, and it's loud and rambunctious and all that stuff. This year we got rid of the big tent. We're having little pop-up tents, so it's kind of more like a farmer's market.
Yep.
And then just open air. So I emailed everybody on Wednesday that bought tickets and said, if you want to bring a pop-up, you want to bring lawn chairs, we'll take over the common. That's fine.
Do you have entertainment?
We Chad Gibbs, who is used to be in a band called Turnaround, so he's going solo. He's very good, doing cover songs and stuff. Good. So he'll be on the gazebo. Yep. Bandstand, excuse me.
Yeah.
Make
and
sure
then,
I say it right.
What about food? You have food trucks?
Monster truck. Monster Tacos is coming.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good.
So got them coming. 200 people, that's it. So one other change is we had to cut our numbers down.
Yeah, what's the biggest turnout year you've ever had?
We can usually sell up to 500 tickets. I think we've probably had 250, 300 people before. I've never completely sold out.
Does the time go by quick for you during the event?
Yes.
It's like
bam.
Yeah. It's a massive headache to get you to that point, right? Then once you get there, And like in the blink of an eye, it's over.
Yeah.
And you're packing up. And
like the biggest stress is the weeks leading up to it, because to get your liquor license is incredibly, it's not hard, it's just time consuming. It's paperwork, and then you have to get, for every person that's pouring beer, I mean, you're on the Kiwanis in Claremont, so you probably...
Yeah, but I've never...
Oh, that's right. You haven't been through one yet.
I haven't been through one.
Yeah. So every person that's pouring beer, you have to get their name, date of birth, their address that they live at now, where they were born, and something else.
Where they were born?
Yeah. Maybe Social Security number? I can't remember. You have to give all that stuff to the state, and then they do like background checks on everybody.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I've been waiting on these. I'm like, I need to know who's... Come on, guys, let's go. So it hung up my liquor license, but I did finally get it on Monday.
Wow, good for you! Congratulations.
Panic.
That's a big hurdle to go over in terms of having a Brewfest. It's hard to have a Brewfest without brew, right?
Well, you can still do it. It's just illegal, and then I get in trouble.
Yeah, and I don't work your detail. I shut it down.
Right? Yeah. You turn in from
shut it down.
Right. All of a sudden, clink clink. There goes Steven. But yeah, so
yeah,
it'll be fun.
And so is there, following the event, is there like a recovery period? Not obviously for the alcohol, but for you. I mean, like,
yeah.
Do you feel like, you clean up and whatever else, but like, is it right out of your mind? Do you immediately start planning for next year when things are still fresh in your mind?
No, not really. I don't start planning. I mean, I'm always thinking. That's my struggle is I'm always, like, during the event thinking, oh, next year I should do this, or next year I should do that. Like, there's always little things that I should have, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, I feel like, we talk a lot about, week in and week out, I feel like we talk a lot about organization and time management and stuff like that. But, as I go through, like, this is now year 2, right, of being here, I've decided that, things to make my life a little easier, like in terms of doing next year's budget, as the year goes along, and I say like, oh, this particular line in our budget, this is something that I should remember for next year, to put make a tiny little note, put it in a folder on my desktop, and then when we're doing the budget, you open up all those folders, and you're like, oh yeah. Back in June, I put a little sticky note in there that said, whatever. And, or, something as silly as like writing the annual report, just making tiny little notes throughout the year about things that, probably would get lost in the sauce if you didn't make a little notation about it. And, we have this, my wife and I have this conversation. She'll ask like, oh, how was your day? And it's busy. And, well, what did you do? And, metaphorically, I think sometimes, well, I put out a series of small fires while I just watched the house burn flat to the ground. But sometimes, like, I'll get home after a day, and, even days where you're super duper productive, right? And you sit down and you're like, what did I do? Like, it's hard to almost articulate what you've done. And, but you write it down, and then you're like, I've got a full sheet of paper here. Where do you want me to start? And, yeah.
See, for me, a successful work day is having probably like 5 emails left in my inbox.
How do you handle your email? Just out of curiosity.
From the old. Usually from the oldest one back.
Now, do you tackle email first thing in the morning?
Yes.
Do you tackle it all day long?
Yes.
Do you tackle it as soon as it comes in?
Yes.
Okay.
And nighttime, and when I'm going to the bathroom, and when I'm eating lunch.
Okay.
And
so it sounds like you have a balance issue.
Yeah, there's no consistency. It's all the time. It's constant. It is constant. And I feel like people think I'm playing on my phone. Like I'm not. I'm actually just doing this email.
I'm working. Yeah, good one, dude.
I tried explaining it to my grandmother. So I worked from home. What's today? It's Friday. So Wednesday, I was working from home. And my grandmother's like, what do you do? Like, it just emails. And, she doesn't even have a computer. She's 100. She doesn't get it. So I'm like, I've got this Brewfest, and I've got to respond to these people, and I got to get this set up, and I got to find out this stuff, and it totally didn't register with her. But that's my day constantly.
Yeah. So, I've heard different ideas or different concepts on how to manage that. One of my brother-in-law, he suggested to me that one of his former bosses used to only check his email at the end of the day.
Oh, wow.
So,
That
which is
sounds
interesting.
awful.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I actually find that, email or voicemail or whatever, it serves as just a epic distraction all day long, right? So if you're trying to get into a project, or if you're trying to, connect with vendors about something, or, write some sort of a report or something that requires, a modicum of attention and, brain power, every time that you stop to check a stupid spam mail,
Oh, yes.
it's not just the 2 or 3 seconds that you look up at your computer screen. There's that's magnified, tenfold by the amount of time it takes you to get back into your rhythm to get going again. So if you can sort of block that out and come back to that in a little bit. That's one idea. I've tried that. I've tried to do it twice a day. So don't respond to emails or voicemails until lunch, and then try to do it at the end of the day too, or do it first thing in the morning. I try to do that, but my issue with clearing out my inbox in the morning is if I come in the morning, excuse me, if I come in the morning and I clear out my inbox, be it email or voicemail, then now I see an empty box all day, and so I get into that habit of one in, one out, one in, one out, and I can't stop looking at it. So it becomes almost like I don't know, I get compulsive about having it clean,
Yes.
and getting rid of it. So
Now, do you have a hierarchy of how you want people to contact you? Because I certainly do. So email is my preferred method of people reaching out to me.
Well, I guess it depends on the person.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, it's email. I mean, texts are fine for interpersonal communications with friends.
Yeah.
But like on business, email. That way I can go back and check, use it as my kind of checklist.
I do like that. Yep.
The thing I hate the most is voicemail. I can't stand when people call me. I don't like talking on the phone. Or Facebook message, because I don't check it all the time. So next thing I know, like 4 weeks later, hey, can you get my chicken barbecue on for this church? Nope, because I didn't check this. I'm sorry. I'm certainly hoping that you guys raise some money for your church. This is a great cause, but what a terrible way to reach out to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just listened to your message 8 months later.
Yeah, exactly. I actually unplugged the answering machine here because I hate dealing with it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I really don't like voicemails at all.
I just read this book called The Last Lecture by a guy by the name of Randy Pausch, and he gave this sort of very famous speech at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, right in the run up to his death. He was a very young man, very young family. He was a professor of computer science and was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Oof. And so Carnegie Mellon was doing this last lecture series, and they asked him if he wanted to do a last lecture, so he did. He gave a last lecture, but sort of to life, and really, really, really powerful stuff. And he talks about this concept known as like a head fake. So the concept of a head fake, obviously in football, is if you fake to the left and you get the defender to go to the left and you run to the right, now you've got open field, right? Or basketball or whatever game you're playing, sort of the head fake gets the defense to go one way, and so they're not looking the other way. Well, he uses that as a metaphor. Then at the end of his speech, he says, you know what the head fake here is? And the head fake is that he gives all of this like great, really good life advice. He talks about his life and the things that, shaped him growing up. But the head fake is that served as a video for his children to understand him and his life, because his kids were 18 months, 4 years, and 6 years old at the time of his passing. So, they obviously, particularly the youngest one, would never ever know her dad, right? So he used that as an opportunity to get an hour and a half, 2 hour. I think it was an hour long speech, but now she has something tangible that she can put into a DVD or a VCR and watch her dad hear about all the different things that he experienced in life and his message to her as she grows up. I went totally off the rails there, but the point I'm trying to make is in the book, because he writes the book was written after the speech. He gives some advice about these time management skills that we're talking about today, and one of them was about telephone calls.
Okay, and
some of the tips that he learned over the years to make telephone calls shorter. So. He described phone calls during your business day as being just a giant suck of time,
yes.
and just sort of can kill your momentum and stuff like that. So he says, I try to make a lot of my phone calls at 11:50 or 11:55 in the morning, right before lunchtime. He goes, because people may not even realize it, but when it's getting close to lunch, they're like watching the clock, and they're going to be less inclined to want to talk to you for 2 hours because they want to go eat a grinder.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, you're going to eat lunch? Oh, I guess we got to let go now.
Stand up.
Yes.
So stand up when you're on the phone, because if you're standing, you're more inclined to rush it. Have them obviously on speakerphone and try to be doing something else. Although, as the other person on the other end of that phone, I'm not a huge fan of that.
Me either.
And you can sense it, right?
Yes.
I'm second fiddle right now to whatever else it is that you are going on.
You are not paying attention to me right now.
You are not paying attention to me.
Enjoy your filing. I'm going to go get a grinder because it's noontime.
Yeah. I hope you had a good time with this time management technique. So.
Nice talk. Gotta go.
So, talking about time management, do you do a lot of work at home?
Yes.
How much?
It really depends, because my day is sporadic. I might get a call when I'm in the middle of cooking dinner. I might get emails that come in at night while watching Wheel of Fortune, and I'm just reply back. Or some nights there's nothing. Some mornings I'll wake up and do some work on my laptop and then come in. So it's really sporadic.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I don't mind it. I'm not complaining at all about that. My dad was a realtor for years. I saw him work all the time. Work on vacations, work on weekends, nights. We'd be eating dinner. He'd have to get up and go do a showing or what. So to me, that's natural. So it doesn't bother me. I can see where it's annoying for other people.
Yeah. So I have, over the last few years, I guess, I was pretty guilty of doing what I'm going to use the term passive work at home. So, I might get reading material that needs attention, or maybe something that doesn't require me to be on our records management software or whatever else. But I guess it would be more reading type stuff,
sure.
Or maybe writing a document or something like that. In the past, I was more inclined to bring that stuff home. Right. If I ran out of day and try to get some of that stuff done at home, I'm less inclined to do that now. I definitely do a lot of active work still at home, so the phone will ring, or there will be messages, or something will come up that needs attention quickly. I'm totally fine with that. But that sort of passive work, that work that can actually wait, I'm more apt now to make that wait, because I feel like a lot of that active work does come up when I'm at home, right? And that takes my time and attention, and I definitely feel like in terms of work-life balance, and you heard it.
Is there any such thing?
Yeah, there should be.
There should be.
To some degree, I think. And maybe that's just because, our kids are getting older now, and
sure.
We have, this evening, we have a graduation party for our daughter who graduated from Stevens last week. So, it goes by so fast that you think that, I don't want to spend my time sitting here reading, American Police Beat. I need to engage and go out and play basketball. Or
American Police Beat. Is that like Teen Beat, but for cops?
Yeah. Okay. What's the new style of handcuffs? And how do you like this cut of this new polyester shirt?
Excellent.
That kind of. Do you like gold, or do you like nickel, or what, that kind of?
Have you ever made the cover?
Never.
No.
No.
Did Chief Chase make the cover?
Charles Ratage, on the other hand, made the cover around Thanksgiving, because Hinsdale Police was giving out frozen turkeys or something like that.
Okay.
So he actually was in American Police Beat.
Was he on the cover?
Go Chuck. Yeah, I think so.
Nice. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I bet if you ask him real nice, he'll send you a signed copy. Dear Steve,
I haven't talked to him since he
best always.
How's he
Love
doing
Chuck.
down there?
Yeah, says he's doing great.
Hinsdale, right? You said?
Hinsdale. He's they had a epic staffing crisis when he started. He's definitely got some guys now on the rolls, and guys and girls, and he's filling spots and doing police work. So
it sounds like that is just the issue everywhere.
It is absolutely, positively the issue everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I brought this up before. I don't know if I brought it up with you on the radio, but one of the problems is that we're competing because this is the issue everywhere. We are competing with everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I'm not just competing with Claremont and Sunapee and Grantham for police officers anymore. I'm also competing with Lebanon and Hanover and Manchester and Nashua and the state police and Vermont State.
Sure.
You are in even larger scale than that. You're competing regionally, you're competing nationally. I think that people are more apt to travel. We've talked about that for a long time, the sort of feeder program for Newport's police force or Claremont's police force came from Stevens High School and Newport High School. Sure. And cadet programs that were well established in those places, and we got certainly officers that graduated from those schools that went to NHTI or whatever else. They started through the dispatch center. Obviously that was the case for Craig Robertson and for Jim Burrows. They had kind of fed right through the system here, and many others. So, Sean Seymour, exactly. Yep. But now that I think that's not as much. That's not as prevalent anymore of a feeder program as it used to be. And
there's no cadet program in Newport, is there? Not
currently.
Okay.
It right before COVID, there were good strong efforts to revive the program, I started when these talks were really starting to ramp up to get the program going again, but that sort of curtailed things for a little while. So hopefully as the summer goes along, we can start to have those discussions and figure out, what does a cadet program in 2021 look like? Mm-hmm. Does it look the same as it looked in 1995 or 1990 or 2000, whatever years ago? What does a cadet program look like today? Back when I participated in the cadet program, in the mid to late 1990s, it was sponsored by the Daniel Webster Council. So you could actually get your Eagle Scout through a cadet program.
Wow.
Were
you a Boy Scout?
I was not.
No, you were not.
I was not. No. But that was an avenue, if I remember correctly. So, what's the program look like? What's the curriculum? Mm-hmm. How would this work best for us? How would it work best for whatever. So,
it'd be kind of cool, and I'm just kind of throwing this out there, and this is a school issue. And I know you have Officer Beaudet, who works both for the school and for you guys, but if there was a criminal justice program at the high school, or I don't know what type of curriculum there could be at the high school where you could get school credit, but also learn the very beginning stages of this profession.
Yeah, so I've had conversations with Jennifer Opolinski from the technical center, and she and I have actually had that conversation. How can we use the tech center as a feeder program for public safety jobs? And they're working on that already through with the fire department for EMTs and that. Yep. And she was asking, what about those folks coming and doing some sort of, for lack of better words, ride along experience in dispatch? And I think that would be a wonderful opportunity. And I know myself as a high school kid, when I got the opportunity to sit in dispatch and watch how a busy night worked in the dispatch center, you're just awed. You're I can't believe anybody can figure out how this works. There's buttons everywhere. There's phones ringing all over the hook. You got people coming into the window, and it's pretty impressive. It's impressive to watch that sort of multiple things going on at once and multitasking, and that recall. It almost becomes like second nature for the experienced communication specialists who are sitting in there. So I thought, she and I spoke about that. I think that's a good opportunity, and I think that program, the program in general, the program in chief, if you will, the tech center offers a good opportunity for that. The other thing that I've talked about with a colleague of mine is JROTC.
Junior ROTC.
Yeah. Now, Fall Mountain had or has, I don't know if they do anymore, but they did have a JROTC program. Mm-hmm. But it would be something really interesting for Newport and or Claremont to explore. I have long said that, Newport is a very, very patriotic community, and it'd be nice to see that type of a feeder program here. And,
sure.
But, I know that there's some costs associated with that, and I learned recently, too, that it's not just like, oh, Newport wants one, we're going to start one up. That you actually get on like a waiting list. And so there is some bureaucracy to it. That,
shocking.
Right?
I always thought this stuff was so easy and quick, just like that.
Yeah, just snap your fingers and boom, it happens. So unfortunately, that's not the way it goes. But, in that book, Randy Posh talks about the metaphor of a brick wall. They're not there to keep you out. They're there for you to find an interesting way around them or over them or under them. So, if that presents a brick wall, then let's run through the thing like a juggernaut.
Or like Kool-Aid Man.
Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So...
Sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of running through things,
sure.
Lest we forget that this is the final weekend of Motorcycle Weekend.
Oh, yes.
Motorcycle Week. It's also Father's Day.
True.
So I will preemptively wish my father a happy Father's Day on the radio.
Now you make me feel bad.
And I'm going to wish you a happy Father's Day.
Oh, I don't care
about
all
the other fathers out there.
But I didn't wish my dad a happy Father's Day on the radio.
Because I beat you to it.
Yeah, now I feel like...
It's Friday morning.
But what do I do? I'm copying.
No, I
can't.
Well, you and I had spoken about this before we came on the air, and you said that you were going to wish your dad a happy Father's Day, so stop whining about it and just do it.
I can't now, because now you're calling me out. So now, I feel like I'm giving in the pressure.
Okay, so just don't do it.
Well,
hold your nose and just don't do it, Stephen.
What my dad and I will do is just hit each other in the arm and just nod.
Yeah.
Head nod. Mm. That's all you need. It's a head nod. That's what guys do.
Head nod?
Head nod.
Hit each other in the arm?
Yeah. Whack, whack. Head nod. Yep.
No, you gotta express your feelings. You gotta get those out.
No.
Exercise the demons.
No.
Get them out.
Keep them in. That's what guys do.
Yeah.
Bundle it.
Yeah.
Pack it down.
Yeah. Be manly. Manly.
So, Motorcycle Week. I've been seeing a lot of motorcycles go through in the area. This is obviously, besides Motorcycle Week, they're out anyway.
They are. We have a ride actually coming through tomorrow morning. Oh. It's coming... from the east. It's going to come through town, and then it's going to head out towards Hillsborough. So
what does that mean? So do you guys have to do anything with this?
Well, I think we're going to try to just lead them through town, just so that they have sort of safe passage through town. So
do you stop the lights so they can all stay together?
We get them to the lights anyway. But if we can, we would like to do that. Yeah. So I don't know the size of that ride, but whoever's organizing the ride called dispatch and asked if that's something that we could do. So usually that only happens when the ride is more substantial in size. So, but I bring that up because sometimes it's just they're motorcyclists on their own. Maybe they're not as large, obviously, as a motorcycle, right? So I'm sorry, as a regular passenger car. So you got to make sure that you have your head on a swivel, and there's just not as much margin for error when you're riding a bike as there is when you're in a car. And if somebody gets hit, then the problem can become catastrophic quite quickly. So keep your head on a swivel, drive with your head up, not in your lap, not on your phone, not on your device.
Is there texting and driving on a motorcycle? Do people do that?
I've actually seen it. I saw a guy one time taking a selfie.
Stop.
He was driving down the road, hand up, doing this thing. So I'm not talking so much about the riders as much as I am talking about just the regular, passenger car drivers. Speeding, taking chances, and cutting people off, and braking suddenly, and all of those things contribute to crashes, and then when you crash with a motorcycle, it can be much, much worse. So
Yes.
we don't want to see any of that ever. But certainly when we know that there's going to be more bikes out, it's our duty to be a little bit more mindful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So
I know accidents can happen even during those big motorcycle rides that people start gawking.
Yeah.
So don't gawk at them too when you're driving.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
Yeah. Just this isn't scientific. This is just sort of, I guess, my own personal observations. But notice when you're driving sometimes and you look like, oh, look, there's a deer out there in the field, and like your hand will fall where your head goes. And, and of course, as I'm telling you the story in the studio,
you're actually doing it.
I'm actually doing it, and I'm getting further and further away from the microphone, and so,
just be careful. Hey, this wouldn't be a town thing. This would be a state thing. I saw that they had painted lines on Route 10 south towards Goshen, so South Main Street. Looks like they made the passing lane longer by Crow's Nest. But I don't know if you've driven through there.
I have not in a couple of days.
Okay. So some idiot, when the road was wet, decided to go back and forth and back and forth.
I hate that.
And that road looks awful now because it's just like paint everywhere. Everywhere. So there's nothing you can do. You have to wait for it to wear off. But it's just
That's
annoying.
Awful. Yeah, that is annoying.
It makes your road look like rubbish.
It does. Yeah. There's it's not in this community. It's in another nearby community. There's a road. It looks like somebody was asleep at the wheel behind the line truck, and then there's faded lines from the year before. It's dreadful. It's almost like you want to just rip up the pavement and start over. Like, come on, can we get a clean sheet of paper here?
Yep. So. And I feel bad. You got these highway guys that spend their time painting the road and trying to make it look nice, and you got some fool just being an idiot. Yeah. So that said, years and years ago, I thought it'd be funny to be that guy. I was right behind the truck and like, I'm going to do this.
Please tell me you got arrested.
I didn't get arrested.
I'm just kidding. I didn't want you to get arrested.
But so I was actually, I'll be honest, I was in Unity doing it. And so I got a couple. I'm looking in my mirror. I'm like, ha, 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 look at me. I didn't realize that paint splatters all over the side of your car.
Oh, yeah.
And doesn't come off.
Ever.
Nope. So I ruined my car because I was being a jerk. So I totally got it. Like, oh, I'm being a jerk right now.
Yeah, and that was probably like a contracted company, and they're just like, whatever, we got paid, and we did our thing, and now you have a ruined car. So, you feel good about that sport?
No, I learned my lesson big time. So now whenever I see wet paint, I stay far, far away from it. So moral of the story, don't be a jerk. You make the road look like rubbish, and you ruin your car. It doesn't come off.
It doesn't pay off. You shouldn't act like that. You should be kind.
I should be kind.
Yeah, you usually are kind.
Yeah, but I was thinking this
Except
is
the yawning.
Did you hear me and Mark talk about that on the radio?
I didn't.
Okay, I mentioned that you don't like me yawning.
Okay.
Did he say anything to you?
No, I talked to him this morning briefly. In fact, we talked about just to go back to an earlier conversation. It wasn't today. It was yesterday. I talked to him. I'm sorry. You've got me all flustered now because of the yawning thing. We spoke yesterday about the whole work-life balance and doing work at home. And I just asked him. I said, "Do you still bring a lot of work home?" And he used to, when we worked together. He used to take a lot of work home, and he'd sit out on his porch, and he would, again, it'd be a lot of reading and stuff like that. Yeah. And then a lot of that stuff, you have to read, and then you can make a decision, or you can have a response, but like you got to get through the reading first. So you can, if you just do the reading at home and maybe jot a couple of notes down, you can come in the following day and then do all the writing that's required afterwards. So he says he still brings a lot of stuff home, but he actually just oftentimes doesn't get to it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He'll go outside and he'll do chores outside or whatever. And so yeah, that was what we spoke about.
Okay, so he didn't talk about us talking about you.
He did not. You
can go back and listen to the podcast. He also admitted that he didn't become follically challenged really until you came into his life.
That is an utter lie. absolute, utter lie.
He said he had more hair.
I found photos of him from, I think it was 1999.
Okay.
It was either, I think it was 99. It could have been 2000. But there was an awards banquet at St. Mary's Gym, and he was prosecuting at the time. I think he was a lieutenant, and he was balder than a cue ball.
Oh.
He had more hair on the side.
Okay.
But yeah, he was a cue ball up top. I think. Pretty sure.
I don't know.
Maybe he had a flat top, but a pretty pronounced widow's peak. Who knows? He's full of it. That's baloney. No.
No?
He's follically challenged because he has, no.
Okay,
No,
now to be fair,
yeah.
I led the witness down this path.
You have to also understand that your witness has given conflicting statements over the course of many, many years. He said for years, working together, that the reason that he was bald and balding was because he had daughters.
Oh.
And then granddaughters. Not because of me.
No, it wasn't you.
Now all of a sudden, they're angels and I'm the devil. So let's get your story straight.
Well, now that
were you lying then or are you lying now?
maybe it's a little bit of both.
Uh-huh.
Maybe as he's gotten older and wiser, he really found the cause, the root cause. I don't know. I'm just trying to help you guys have a more healthy relationship.
Yeah, we got to get it out, right?
Right.
Yeah, just get it out.
Yes.
I just punch him in the arm and
Head nod.
yeah.
Then you're good.
So,
But I also did mention that, conversely, you have a full, luscious head of hair.
luscious.
Unlike his.
Luscious.
Luscious.
Did you just use that word?
It just came to me. I'm looking
Don't ever use the metaphor luscious when you're speaking of
about your hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's thirsty.
It's like Fabio's hair here.
Yes. Yes, I would thoroughly enjoy you growing your hair out like Fabio.
My oldest has some curls going on. Like, it's not like curly, but yeah, it's this mop of. I told him yesterday, I was like, dude, we're shaving that thing right down to the bone. And he's in high school. That's not something that's.
No, don't do that. Let it go.
No.
Just let it go.
No.
Let it happen.
Nope. Major Dad.
No, it's
crew cut time.
No,
buddy.
it's the summer of
Yeah,
love.
Lock your body. We're cutting your hair.
That's what Kevin O'Neilla's punishment used to be.
Cut his hair?
Every time Kevin acted up, his dad took him for a haircut.
Really?
Yeah. That was his punishment. So if you want to go back to like 1960s form of punishment, I think that you could do that. Or you could embrace his luscious locks.
I kind of always like getting my hair cut. Still do. How often do you get your hair cut?
I don't know. I'm sporadic. Sometimes I cut my own hair. Sometimes I go and get it cut.
I don't cut my own hair.
You don't?
The only time I ever cut my own hair was when I was in the police academy.
Oh.
I did that because I shaved the sides with a razor, like a straight razor, and I left just a little bit on top. But short of that, I don't ever cut my own hair. I don't. No, that's...
No, I've done it with scissors. I've cut my hair with scissors. That's hard. That's not easy.
No.
Oh, because I got bad shoulders. My arms go numb. So
why don't you just spend the, $20 and go to a barber and
right
have the conversation?
No, that's a great idea. But I've also saved hundreds of dollars. Just snippety-snip it.
It's not all about the financial capital.
It's not.
There's also social capital.
I wear a hat. I wear a hat. People, all they're going to see is sideburns and back of my hair. It really doesn't matter.
Are hats like a thing that are they still as popular, do you think, like baseball caps as they were in our generation for men? Or I don't know.
I'd say yes.
I've never
examined. You're not a hat guy.
I do wear hats.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't see you with hats.
Well, you always see me in uniform.
Right, but even if in uniform, I'd wear a hat. You have a police hat.
I do, and
I'd wear it.
So we're switching the hat, or I've switched the hat, but that I've got to get everybody on the same page with hats and.
What are you switching to and from, or from and to?
Well, so they've.
Did you have the campaign hat?
They used to have the campaign hat here, and I went to just a different style of a hat. New chief, new look.
You should do a beret.
Make my. Well, you got me. Yeah, you got me.
I mean, you guys would stick out.
We sure would stick out. Yeah, and blouse our pants into our boots.
No, yes. I mean, I'm just thinking just the straight up beret.
Yeah.
Because a dude with a beret.
And some rope around our shoulder. Yeah, we'll look like Patton.
Bring it on.
Yeah, nobody's going to want to come here. We'll roll tanks down Main Street.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, a big buff dude with a beret, you know not to mess with him. Because he's manly enough to wear a beret. All right. Guess what? I'm going to comply. You don't even have to yell taser, taser, taser. You just be like, oh, he's got a beret. I'm done. People texting about berets.
No, not at all.
They should be.
No.
Put it in your budget. Go back, put a note on your thing. Berets 2022.
Yeah, so maybe we'll just do that. Every couple of years we'll switch hats. We'll start with berets. We'll do campaign hats. Maybe we'll have a different type of hat for the different position you are. Like, for example, in the Army or in the Marine Corps, drill instructors wear campaign hats, right? And so, yeah, who knows? Maybe.
I'm trying to think of other cool hats that you could do. I mean, there's so many.
A fedora.
Okay. I don't think that would be. That wouldn't work.
What about like the British? They have like. Particularly the ladies, don't they wear those ones with like feathers and all kinds of
you need a cop hat. You need like the
London Bobby.
Yeah,
like almost a helmet.
You've got the stick.
Yeah.
Now what you doing?
We don't do sticks anymore. This is 2021.
Bring them back.
No.
Bring them back.
We're having a sea change here. Okay, we can't. We're gonna have sticks.
Retro.
We're not gonna have helmets.
Retro.
We're gonna go in a different direction.
What are the changing of the guards or the
Tomb Sentinels?
No, but in Britain, the guys in the red.
Oh, yeah.
They got the big tall hats.
Yeah, the Swiss Guard.
Was that what they are?
Well, are you talking about like at the Vatican?
No, the ones that guard the Queen.
Oh yeah, those fluffy ones.
Yeah. What are those called? That big hat right there, the Queen's Guard.
Yeah, and never smile.
No. Yes. Oh, you need that big fluffy hat.
Yeah.
That's got to have a name for that hat. What kind of hat is that? Queen's Guard hat? Oh, they made out of bearskin? That's going to be nice and cool in the summertime.
Yeah, I don't think they smile at all, ever.
No. You need that.
Yeah, I do. I need that.
Budget 2022.
Yeah. Bear hats.
Bearskin hats.
Yeah. And while we're at it, we should just get bearskin rugs, right?
No, I mean, I don't know if you want to do that.
A fireplace.
Okay.
It'd be a better place to do our reading.
A brandy sniffer.
We're going off the rails, man.
A little bit. Hey, Brewfest tomorrow. We'll see you there.
Brewfest tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you there.
You'll be wearing a bearskin hat?
I will be wearing my bearskin hat.
And a beret?
And a beret. Probably not, but I will, to appease you, I will wear my police hat tomorrow.
Yes. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Should be a nice day.
It should be a nice day. I think that, we're looking forward to it. So,
and if things get out of hand, I'm your backup.
You're my muscle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bringing Smith.
You're my guy.
Yeah. I will bring a beret just in case.
Okay.
The only beret I have is my old Boy Scout one, but...
That's fine.
Yeah.
Were you an Eagle?
No.
Make it close?
No, first class.
So that was another thing I was talking about the other day. Eagle Scout's like one of the only things that one of, and I say this sort of cautiously, right, because there's probably a lot of things, but it's one of those things that you do as a kid that still matters
right
when you're like 50 years old.
Right.
And I think it shows like that commitment and that, you stuck with something for a really long time. And I think that quality is like enduring,
right.
That's a cool thing.
Oh, like Gerald Ford was an Eagle Scout.
That's cool.
When you look at Gerald Ford's resume, it was like played for Michigan for football, vice president, Eagle Scout.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, I feel like in today's nature, we're just so transient. We just change, and we do, like just very, knee jerk type of reactions to things. But I like that the kids particularly have this, stick-to-itiveness, and they like, I want to finish this.
Right.
It's cool.
Yep.
There's just not a whole heck of a lot of that, and it's nice to see.
I mean, eventually, over years, we'll find out what level Fortnite they were. I mean, right? No?
Yes. Yeah, I know.
That's what's happened.
I know.
Is Fortnite a thing in your house?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
I've got Minecraft, so.
No, yeah, we had that too. We're into Fortnite, so.
All right, Chief, I'm going to have to let you go.
Cool.
Again, I'll see you tomorrow
it's
at the Brewfest.
Always a pleasure, never a chore. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the Brewfest.
And if people see the motorcycles come by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Let them go.
Let them go.
Perfect.
It's all good. And drive safe, have a good weekend, and I will see you next week.
Indeed.
Ciao.